what I do with my money, which are the best machine translation softwares, and many more in this week's Q&A. Coming up. Hello and welcome back to the Freelanceverse. I hope you're all doing well. I'm slowly recovering now. I had COVID in the last weeks, I have to say. It's been a very long process to get back to normal health. Still, you probably hear it and see it. I'm still not 100% back, but at least I'm back to working and I'm back to filming. That's very important for me, that I can feel productive. As it is the first week of February, it is time for Q&A, and it's actually perfect timing, because this means I don't have to prepare a lot for this video. As always, I took most of these questions from the December Q&A, so if you want to be involved in the April Q&A, make sure to ask your questions down below. Let's get right into it with question number 1, who comes from Marco this week, a very good friend of mine. Question: what do you do with the money you earn, saving, investing, spending? So based on the fact that I receive my money through invoices, I don't have a fixed income at the end of the month, right? So some of my clients pay in 15 days, some in 30, some in 45. It depends on the payment practices. But I would just randomly get like 2,000 euros here, 400 euros here, 3,000 euros here, throughout the months I just get money. And it's not really like a fixed salary that I get every month. I then made myself my own kind of payday, I call it. It's always the first working day of every month. That's when I write my invoices, send them out. And that's also when I kind of consolidate and I see what came in, which invoice was paid. And that's also when I move my money around, let's call it that way. So what I first do is I check how much came in this month, see if everything is fine. And then the next step is I put the money away that I need for taxes and social security. So on my bank account, I made a separate account. You can, in most accounts, you can just create as many accounts as you want. I immediately calculate how much I owe to the tax and social authorities for this month, and I put this money away there. So this is there, this I don't touch, because I owe this money, right? And it also doesn't really make sense to do something with this, to invest it, because it's short-term money. I need this very short-term, and most short-term investments are risky, right? And you don't really want to play with money that you need in the short term. So this just stays there, and I have to pay it anyways every quarter. The next thing I do is I fill up my reserves. I have 6 months of expenses, of living expenses on my bank account. That's all I have on my bank account, just 6 months of living expenses. So I fill up to this amount that I need. The next step is paying bills, paying the rent for the flat, etc. Just everything that I need to have paid. And when this is all done, I basically have my leftover, my profit for the month, and this gets invested. I usually don't invest every month because of certain fees that my broker has, so I need to have a certain amount to be in the cheapest fee bracket. So I put it on another account in my bank account that's called investments, and once I reach the necessary amount, that is usually every 2 months or every 3 months, I invest it in mostly in stock ETFs, some in bond ETFs, and about 10% in more volatile, more risky options or asset classes. Yeah, that's what I do with my money. I hope this was interesting to you. Next up, Daddy asks, can you please tell me what is the best machine translation that you have used? So what I wrote her to, or him, I don't know, Daddy, if it's a woman or a man, anything NMT based is the thing to go. NMT stands for Neural Machine Translation. If you haven't seen my video on machine translation, you can click here and watch it. I put a lot of research in there, so all is explained in this video. I'm not going to go into the inner workings again, but definitely NMT is the current front runner, and probably also will be in the future. DeepL is a very good platform that you can use. Just make sure, if you use it for professional use, make sure to pay for it, because if you use a machine translation that is free, then you pay with the data, right? Any service you use for free, then you are the price, basically. The same with machine translation. So anything you put through the free software will be used as a sample, and a lot of clients don't want that, right? They don't want to give their private information to a third-party company. So if you do use it for professional use, make sure to buy the professional version. You can also implement these, by the way, in CAD tools, so it immediately suggests you the pre-translated version, and then you do post-editing for yourself. Just make sure to inform the client if you do that. Next up is Barbara Esteves. Thank you so much for your videos. Are there any free programs for subtitling that you use? Do I have to invest in one? Which one do you use? Thank you very much for the question, Barbara. I use Subtitle Edit, me myself. There are a lot of... Sorry, my memory card was full just in that moment. So where was I? Subtitle software, right? Yeah, there are various different ones you can use. I use Subtitle Edit for myself. I would recommend that as well. It's very easy to use. There's also Open Subtitle Editor. There's Subtitle Workshop. There's Egisub. There's Amara. Many different ones. I actually also made a video about that. You can click here. It's called What is Subtitling? It also includes all you need to know about the service. Next up is from someone's name I can't read, I'm very sorry. Hey, I liked your presentation, but I have a question. I was called for a translator written test, so how should I prepare for the exam? Please, this is urgent. Thank you for your response. So that's a tricky one. Like in terms of translation and linguistics expertise, you can't really practice for a translation test, right? The test is designed for you to show your skills, right? You can be aware of like traps. Maybe you can Google common traps of tests, because there will be like they will probably put in some spelling errors that you have to catch. If you don't catch that, you're immediately failed. If they give you a style guide, there will be a lot of instances where the style guide is not actually represented or followed in the text, and you need to catch these things. So just pay attention to that, but you can't really prepare for that. I would say the only thing you can prepare is learn everything you can about if it's an agency, about the agency, but also about the end client. And if it's a direct client, anyways, about the whole company, right? Everything you can learn about it, you need to know. Just prepare as if it was an interview for a position in this company. Make sure you know exactly what they want from you. Ask a lot of questions before you start, because if you ask questions after the test, that's a bit unprofessional. So make sure you know everything you need to know before you start. Next up, a very short one to answer from Sofia Salamanca. Really cool name, by the way. I want to work in subtitles, but I need to know how much to charge. Is it better per word or per hour? Thank you. Simple answer, definitely by the hour. Don't charge subtitling by the word. It doesn't make any sense, especially if you have to be the one, if you're the one spotting the subtitles, right? It's very different if you get already a spotted one, but meaning all the subtitles are already in perfect place where the speaker speaks, and you only do the translation of this file without any subtitling. You don't even need a subtitling tool. Then you can charge it by the word, because then it's basically a normal translation, right? You might have to watch the video sometimes for context, but if you are the one doing transcription, if you are the one doing subtitle translation and then subtitle spotting, time coding, then definitely by the hour, because it makes no sense otherwise, right? And if you do it by the hour, you can take your time, you can re-watch the whole thing again, because that's something you have to pay attention to also. Like if you work on a 25 to 30 minute video, right? Once you're finished, you still have to go through the whole video again and make some changes, right? So this takes another 40 to 45 minutes when you think you're already done. So make sure to also calculate the like post-editing or the review phase into your price as well. And I think the last question for today, this was actually from my MemoQ video. This is not from the Q&A, but it's a very important question that people should know. This person, Sidan3250, wrote, if I choose to buy this software, meaning MemoQ, will I be able to update it to the next version in the upcoming years? For instance, from 9.9 to 13.4. This is a really important question. I didn't mention this in my MemoQ video. Click here if you're interested. I really should have mentioned that, because I think I only mentioned that the price is like €100 or 120 euros per year. This is only the service maintenance fee, right? So if you want to buy MemoQ, it costs you around 600 euros to buy it. There are always these group buys on Probst.com, so if you just Google group buy MemoQ or group buy STL, you find cheaper options. Definitely go for that. You can find it for 300-400 sometimes. And this is a one-time fee. So the purchasing fee of the tool is you buy it once. And you don't actually need the service maintenance fee of 120 euros a year. But if you don't buy that, then you don't have any service from MemoQ and you can't update to the newer versions. So what I do and what most people do, you buy the freelancer version for about 600 euros or less with a group buy, and then you pay annually around 120 euros for the service fee. So if you have a problem, they help you immediately. And also when there are newer versions, you can upgrade for free to the newer MemoQ versions. So that's the pricing of MemoQ. Really important question. Thank you very much, Sidan. All right, these are all 6 questions from today. They were rather quick to answer, which is great. Make sure to write yours down below if you want to be included in April. And I go now back to recovery. I see you next Monday with an interview with someone from Probst. That will be very interesting. See you then. Bye-bye.